football in his hands, but his kicking game will be crucial to the Broncos tonight. Without the firepower in the forwards, he'll need to play field position through that kicking game as the Knights make their way onto the field.
Well, the Knights missing Bo Scott through origin duty, but they're missing plenty through injury. We brought you that news in our pre-game show just a moment ago, with Joseph Tapani out with a back spasm during the warm-up. That brings the 33-year-old Clint Newton into the 17. Played only a couple of games in 2014, and his last game was back in round 15. Tarek Sims is on deck, and they'll need him at his best. He was very good in a win last week against the West Tigers, and Dane Gagai, after spending some time in the Queensland Origin camp, is back and wearing the one jumper for the Knights here this evening. It's time on Toyota Monday Night Football. The kickoff going down to Kurt Gidley, wearing the 6th jumper tonight, and they'll work it away through David Farlongo to play it just inside the Newcastle 20. Tyler Randall at dummy half. Chris Houston, the man off the bench and now in the starting side with that injury late in the piece for Joseph Tapani. Here's Cade Snowden, another who had a big game last week, plenty of metres, 15 carries against the Tigers in that win. Now Corbin Sims working it up, taking the place of Jeremy Smith, who's out with injury. And it's a big loss, isn't it? Smith and Scott both out of this Newcastle team tonight. Snowden taking it inside the Broncos 40. A good opening set. They take it down to the last play and go down the short side. A surprise attack there from Tyler Randall, kicking it down towards Lachlan Maranta. Playing on that left-hand side, a reshuffled back three, or in fact a back five for the Brisbane Broncos. And we'll take a look at the way they line up in the early sets.
Yeah, Rick's going to be happy with that start. Cade Snowden in particular, a couple of very good runs from him.
That's 2 tackles in a row.
What Cade Snowden has been offering the Knights is a little bit of attack. In terms of offloads, not much happening with their halves, and they'd be looking for big games from both Tyrone Roberts and Kurt Gidley, who have been a bit quiet in recent weeks, certainly through that run of 5 losses. But Cade Snowden's been creating some second phase play with his offloads. As Brisbane, a free kick and an early start inside Brisbane territory.
Alex Glenn with the ball poised for an offload, but he hangs on to it, plays it to McCulloch, goes to Adam Blair. He was out of form at the beginning of the season. He's had some good games since those early woes. Here's Milford at the line, going to Hunt, and then back on the angle, David Stagg. 32-year-old playing it just outside the 10. McCulloch from dummy half. Hunt was wide. It went to Milford, who avoided both the ball and the oncoming Sione Matautia. That was interesting. And Reid will play it 10 metres away. Here is Milford. Going back on the inside here for Blair. It comes back to Glenn with a 3-on-2, but Uate, defending one in from the wing on this right edge, makes the stop. McCulloch dropping back, goes to Hunt. Just a weighted chip across the field, landing in Kahu's hands. Stagg got it away. It was knocked down there by McManus, and that'll be a knock on.
Well, McManus fortunately got his hands to the ball. The bad part about that will be that the Broncos get another set. And after the kick across field was taken and then offloaded by Jordan Kahu, McManus comes in to shut down David Stagg because he had Daniel Vito unmarked on his outside. If he gets that pass away, well, the Broncos come up with a 4-pointer. I'm surprised, and you just spoke about Anthony Milford during that set where he just let the ball go past him. I'm surprised that a player of his skill with his footwork, that he just didn't take a step out and then catch the ball, because Matautia didn't make a touch on it.
Matautia was coming out of the line hard, and as you say, if Milford catches it, steps past him, there was a big gap in the Newcastle defensive line. See what they offer here, but the early chance is going to the visitors. McCulloch going to Milford. Reid under pressure there from Matautia. Again charging the ball, staying alive with Milford. He got away from Uate, and there he is. Anthony Milford putting the Broncos on the board.
Yeah, I'm okay too.
Well, I don't know what the Newcastle Knights are talking about. They think there is a problem there, but it didn't look to be. Kurt Gidley, let's have a see if we can listen what he's saying to the referee.
You've got to look at it, though. We don't need to, mate. We've made a decision.
Well, there didn't seem to be a problem with it. They came down a short side, and Jack Reed did a great job to get the ball away. McCulloch went open, then back to the right. The collision with Mataudia saw Jack Reed just pop the ball up, and then Milford break out of 2 tackles.
Kurt Gidley was complaining about being dragged down by Jack Reed. Watch as Gidley turns to chase here. He just trips over Jack Reed. Well, really, he was never going to get to Anthony Milford. That wasn't a factor. Chris Houston was appealing to the referee to go upstairs as well. See it again here as Reed just tries to brace, I guess, for the impact of Gidley coming across the top of him, but that was nothing to do with what unfolded, and that's green lights.
Well, we were just a little critical of Anthony Milford and the fact that he let the pass go only moments earlier in the preceding set. But that is his ability to beat a tackler. Still on his feet when he crossed the try line as Hunt tries to make it 6.
The early pressure telling for the Brisbane Broncos, and Ben Hunt, who has the kicking duties tonight with Corey Parker, watching on from Queensland camp after 5. It's the Broncos off to a flyer. Noddy 6-0 over the Knights.
And you talk about a Wayne Bennett coach football side. They like to lead from the front and they like to control football games. 8 out of 9 games this year, the Brisbane Broncos have scored the first try. So that's a good start and a good confidence boost for the young Milford.
No, you're exactly right. I will temper that, though, by saying that he scored the first 2 tries last week against the North Queensland Cowboys, and we saw how that one turned out. Do no more than grab the opening points, and here they are, working it off their own line.
David Kay, give him room, Kay. Marcus.
Jared Wallace playing. Goes to Blair. Turn it back on the inside for Offahen
Chris House, the
Gowie.
number 12. Come on, boys. Together. That's it. Pull up. Marcus good.
Board with ref cam following the Broncos as they work it away from their own end. 3 in the tackle. Houston and also Snowden slowly off Alex Glenn there. Blair again, bringing it back to the 40, playing it for McCulloch, and Hunt just outside the 40. The kick early in the tackle count and find the turf as well. And it's Aquila Uwate. I don't know they want to kick too many times to him, give him a chance to wind up the tackle-busting form he's in 2015.
You know he can't get away from Aquila. Whether you kick it to him, he's just as dangerous on the play later. If they kick it to one of the other back 3, that's a problem too, because Aquila has made many breaks this year from the following play. Good run from Sims. That's Corbin.
He's back at the halfway line, playing it for Randall. Goes to Snowden. Longo pushing up in support. They're 40 away. Last tackle here in this set. Roberts wears a shot from Blair, but the tackle was okay. And then underneath it, Miranda. In the fullback role again tonight, the Broncos have used no less than 4 different fullbacks so far this season. The Knights themselves have used 3 different fullbacks. Miranda, we know one thing, is a fantastic catch off the high ball, whether it's in the fullback position or out there, his more customary position on the wing. Here's Wallace. Work it up towards 40-metre line. A chance again for Hunt to kick early in the tackle count, but this time under pressure and wearing a shot for his trouble. Milford, though, goes to Miranda, juggled it, tapped it back to Reed. That's play on. He'll take the tackle 35 out from the Newcastle line. Level work by Miranda. Hunt putting it up. Blair chasing through underneath it. Gagai, no trouble there. He's rounded up by Kahu and Stagg, who for a moment visions are taking him back into the in-goal area. McManus, some would consider, especially in these parts, to be unlucky not to be in the New South Wales camp for Origin 1.
Another good involvement from Anthony Milford, almost busting the Knights open down this left side. They get their first penalty of the night and get themselves out of trouble. Not a great touch finder there from Tyrone Roberts. Didn't go for much distance, only found 10 metres.
See how much touch they do have tonight with especially their last play options, which have really hurt them. Five-game losing streak after winning their first 4 of the season. Back into their sets is sometimes where it can all come unstuck for Newcastle. Gagai coming in this right-hand side. Matautia, Uwate back on the inside. What a pass. Gagai a chance, gives it back to Uwate. Spinning, trying to offload. They'll take him to ground a couple of metres out. Matautia goes back to Roberts. Good ball there for Snowden. Got away from Wallace.
Jack Reed, never square at marker.
They were never square, said
never square at marker.
referee Gavin Badger.
Ping Jack Reed. And this will allow the Knights to continue the pressure. Great play between Gagai, Sione Matautia and Uwate. Just brilliant how he floated that ball back inside to Gagai, who almost stepped his way into the in-goal area.
Stay in the line.
They looked absolute certainties to score for a moment there, but tremendous scramble by the Broncos, who've certainly had plenty of practice at that inside their own 20 in recent times, and they'll get more chance to work on the defence. Right here, they'll crack them though. Tyler Randall comes through.
Tackle one.
It looks as though he scored.
Just check that he doesn't lose the ball forward.
The way the ball came loose.
Offloads there, thanks.
Back to Randall, that it wasn't touched by a Brisbane Bronco.
A terrific try from Tyler Randall. Still had plenty to do. We just spoke earlier about the offloading ability of Cade Snowden, how important it's been. Attacking positions, the ball pops up, he misses it. Was there a Bronco hand on it at any stage?
Was there a head on it? Perhaps Jared Wallace. Watch this again as the ball comes loose. See if it touches Wallace's head. I think it did. I think it did. In the first instance, come off the forehead there of Jared Wallace. See if this angle gives us a better clue.
It just pops up here, and Snowden gets a tap on it and hits the head and bounces back forward towards Cade Snowden. Well, the goalpost pad's going to get in the road of that angle.
There's no drama with the put down, but still a big question mark over this ball coming loose. Well, forced to take a pick, I would say. It came off the head of Wallace just there.
You know, there's no doubt it came off his head. And Cade Snowden has propelled it towards his own goal line with his hand. That's Randall throws the dummy. I guess going this far in looking at it, that they're happy with what's gone on in the middle.
Well, the video referees tonight, Steve Clark and Steve Folkes, remembering it was sent upstairs as a try. They need in their minds to be conclusive. There was no touch by Wallace. We think there was. They disagree. Green lights for the Newcastle Knights, and perhaps a little bit of luck involved right there.
He's a smart young player, Tyler Randall. That's his second try, only playing his 8th first-grade game. Adam Clydesdale on the injured list for Newcastle and starting some games for them. The Gagai pass to Uwate. Saw plenty of Brisbane Broncos there just to shut it down. Jack Reed was penalised a play later, and here's the effort from Snowden. Newcastle might have got lucky, but he was smart enough to regather and then pop it to Tyler Randall. And the Knights with a chance to square it up.
Tyrone Roberts hooking it back right over the black dot. Try apiece and 6 apiece here in Newcastle, Noddy.
Well, I think we're starting to see the style of football in Newcastle are going to play. They're 6th in the NRL in offloads, and that's one thing you can do against the Brisbane Broncos because they're not the most aggressive defensive line. They concede the most metres in the competition. They work very hard sliding backwards, so that's where the offloads can come. We'll see how Newcastle create that second phase.
It was tremendous work to get them down into that position in the first place. And, as we say, a little bit of luck way of thinking on the call, but You make your own luck, and they were good enough to get down there, and we'll see if they can continue on right here as Houston was involved in the lead up to it all. Will play it just inside his own 20. David Farlongo working towards Andrew McCulloch. Randall waiting at dummy half. Corbin Sims again back on the angle. Good pick up of 12 or so metres right there, and a quick play the ball as well, and they're really rolling it away from their own end. Snowden stopped here, and the Broncos needed that. The ball comes loose, and perhaps under pressure to try and slow down the momentum of the Knights forwards. The Broncos give away a penalty, and now they'll really be under pressure in the back end of this kick from Tyrone Roberts.
There's Snowden in the replay box, just standing there, and it was raked out.
Use the line, Dave.
The Brisbane player was pulling it free as he made his way back to the defensive line.
Roberts coming across the face of the defence, giving it to McManus, who finds himself midfield and 30 metres away from the Broncos line. Sims again charging hard against a flat-footed looking Broncos line right there. Not much speed at all. Now Roberts, the players around him, get a guy, a little 3-on-3. Hunt sliding though, was there to meet him with some help from Blair. He played a couple of metres out. They lured digging for the line and will go close as well. They'll stop him only just with a player underneath him. It would have been Ben Hunt, or was it Jordan Carhu in fact? Randall going to Gidley, taking them on. Met there by Wallace and also Glenn. Just outside the 10 on the last. Randall finding Roberts. He'll kick towards that far side. Vito under pressure. Coming through, there was a chance there for Tarek Sims, but barely hung out a hand. Vito brings it back quickly. That's a nice piece of work by a player who has really had to fight for his place in this Broncos 17.
Yeah, not the best way to finish off a set, which was a promising one from the Newcastle Knights. The kick just going a touch too deep. Tyrone Roberts wants to land those near the try line. McCulloch throws the dummy, but no one falls for that.
Took a real shot for his trouble right there as Hunt comes away to Offengowie, and he'll play it 40 away from the Newcastle line. 14 gone. 6 all it is as Hunt shows it to David Stagg. Boy, that was a bullet-like pass. Point-blank range, really no chance to come up with that ball from Ben Hunt. And the veteran puts it down. It'll give the Knights a chance to begin this next set in pretty good field position.
Yeah, went to the inside and then had nothing on there. Came back to where David Stagg was running a line and just got too close to him, threw the ball too hard. A couple of penalties now and an error. Seen the Knights dominate over the last 5 minutes. Completion's perfect for them.
Out!
McManus again gets a touch on play number 1. Just inside his own 40. We'll see often in this set the forwards can do what they did in their previous set. Of course, the Broncos some real concerns. Friday, no Parker. In fact, 6 players missing tonight. An origin duty from the Broncos lineup. Corbin Sims playing it for Randall. Snowden coming with him. He'll just work it for a gain of 8 or 10.
A real lack of urgency in that Brisbane defensive line. Not much energy getting off their line quick.
There's a gag line. Blair was up quickly there and putting a shot on Kurt Gidley, but he got away the ball just in time as Randall. As a defender on his back, Gidley, again Blair coming out towards him, just bumping towards the ground. Better kick right here. Vito left the ground from the field of play. He was trying to get back there and perhaps fool the referee, but that was a tremendous kick by Kurt Gidley.
An outstanding result from around 35 out. Kurt Gidley put the ball up high enough for his chase to get through, and the position as he finds himself on his back was spot on. Vito stood his ground, but ended up back in the in-goal area after taking it in the field of play, and Newcastle continue to dominate this period of the game.
Let's go, Ben.
Ben Hunt with the dropout. It'll go about 45 metres for Gagai to take it. To Cade Snowden, who didn't put the foot on the brake pedal at any stage right there. He just kept motoring towards them. How far longer? Good tackle around the legs by Wallace. McCulloch over the top. Gidley turning Houston back underneath. And had Randall pushing up. He's inside as well, but he'll take the tackle and play it quickly. The speed of these play-the-balls really hurting the Broncos at the moment. Corbin Sims. He'll end up on the line, and only the arm perhaps, or maybe it wasn't. Offa Hengawi was there, but Corbin Sims ends up with the ball on the stripe.
Well, for the last 4 or 5 sets, the Brisbane Broncos have just been on their heels. There's been no forward movement from their defensive line. The Newcastle Knights are just eating up the metres. Corbin Sims just throws the dummy. There's no way he should have been allowed to score from that position. 3 Broncos there. He twists over the top of Adam Blair, who made the low tackle. I think Gowie's in there as well, and they just don't have the strength to hold him up. Well, he finally gets it down. That's all he needs to do. Andrew McCulloch underneath him looked like he was going to do enough, but well, a much-deserved second try. This reflects the way the game's gone.
What a start from him. Been damaging him against this Broncos defensive line, which has been flat at best after having all the possession in the opening 3 or 4 minutes and scoring through Anthony Milford back in the 5th minute. But from that point on, the Knights have dominated in every facet, and here they are from right in front. Tyrone Roberts. Make it a converted try, the difference. If the Broncos can't muscle up, they might face quite a deficit by the time we get to half-time, Brett.
Well, you talk about completion rate and playing a very simple style of football. Newcastle 9 from 9 in completion rate, so that builds pressure, so that takes petrol out of the Broncos' defensive line. This is the team that are 16th in handling errors, the worst in the competition. Well, today they've got their act together.
That's a damning stat, isn't it, for Newcastle coming to this one as the team that makes more errors, handling errors than any other side. It'll be interesting to see what a Broncos side without all their experience and how they handle a 12-6 deficit.
3 tries in the career of Corbin Sims, and all 3, interestingly enough, against the Brisbane Broncos. Snowden will play it, looking for a penalty, getting no joy there. Wobbly and getting back to mark and losing his balance as opposed to taking a knock. Lovely ball there for Roberts, and as a result, Sims hit it at absolute full speed. It's good defence, though, on that right edge. Snowden again, and in the middle, McCulloch underneath. 2 great pieces of defence right there. The second of them by McCulloch. The previous stop as well was a beauty by Stagg and Hunt. And here is McCulloch setting himself and just making contact with the ball as Snowden dropped it cold.
Yeah, forcing their first error, and we just saw possession spin up 62% of it with the Newcastle Knights. They've played with the ball for the last 6 or 7 minutes at least. Brisbane get their chance after the Snowden error.
In we go. 2 hands.
Amaranta wearing 5 but playing in the fullback role tonight in this reshuffled Brisbane backline. Adam Blair working it up towards Sims and Snowden. Midway through this first half, and we'll wait and see how long Wayne Bennett waits before he makes some changes.
Good run from McCulloch there.
How well this Broncos bench can do tonight will be a big factor in trying to keep them in the contest. Just a much more experienced Newcastle bench. Offa Hengawi playing for McCulloch. It comes to Hunt. Goes to Duranta. Plenty of numbers there for the Newcastle Knights. And Kurt Gidley strongly makes the tackle just inside the Knights 20. Milford feeding it back for Hunt. He'll kick out towards McManus. Coming through, that doesn't get that far. Leilua was there, beating Jordan Kahu to the ball. And Joey makes the catch to play it at the Newcastle 10. Managed to work it away. Has been keen for early carries in this end of the field. And Kuli Iwate has been dynamic from his own end so far this season. Stopped well there, though. Likewise, Sione Matauti.
Joseph Boyce on the field for the Brisbane Broncos, making his NRL debut. We're going in for that tackle there. Just bouncing off was David Farlongo. Tyler Randall with the kick out of dummy half, and it's a good one.
His work has been sharp, Randall. The kick all the way down to the corner before Miranda plays at it, and there he was. Randall coming down the field, looking for a shot and putting some real pressure on Corey Oates, who I don't know that he saw him coming. It was a great kick and chase by Randall. Vito playing it. Out there, as you said. 21-year-old on debut, the kid from Caloundra. Came down to Newcastle to play in the under-20s. Was a teammate with Sione Matauti and others in the Newcastle system. Milford almost losing it. And then a ball from Wallace has Maranta off and running. Reed's there in support. Uwate's back in defence. Gagai wraps up Reed at the Newcastle 20. Some great play back through the middle of the field once again from Brisbane. Hunt looking for an option. Chipping, but finding Uwate. That wasn't what they were looking for at the back end of a very good set.
There was an opportunity there. Jack Reed ended up throwing the dummy, but he sucked Aquila Uwate in, and Corey Oates was unmarked down the sideline. Very clever pass from Jared Wallace to Maranta. Then they create the space. There's Uwate. I don't know why Jack Reed just didn't pass the ball to an unmarked man.
The Knights survive. Little scoop to this left-hand side of the field as Jack Stockwell is out there now, playing it outside the Broncos 40. Roberts off the right foot, under pressure as a result from the defence working from the inside. The kick, though, is a good one. And Maranta watches it go into touch.
A smart kick from the halfback, Tyrone Roberts. As you said, a near thing at the other end of the field, only in the Broncos' last set. He's able to get it into touch, and everyone can take a breather.
Very good.
Corbin Sims is the player who's come from the field for Newcastle in that swap, with Jack Stockwell going out there now and packing into the old hooking role in the scrum. He's a tall hooker. Ben Hunt will feed it for Brisbane. And McCulloch, hooker, playing in the lock forward in the scrum, works it away for Brisbane.
Yeah, Clint Newton on the field also for the Newcastle Knights. A couple of games in first grade last year for him. This is first for 2015.
His third season back with the Newcastle Knights after a couple of seasons with the Panthers. As you said, exclusively in the New South Wales Cup before tonight, Brandy. 9 games in the lower grades before getting this call up this evening, and a late one it was as well, with Joseph Tuppeny ruled out with a back spasm he suffered early in the warm-up.
There's Andrew McCulloch there trying to pick off a 40-20. He's been successful a couple of times already this year, just didn't get the right angle on the kick as Leilua makes some good meters out of dummy half.
Play for Randall, goes to Stockwell, rolls across the halfway line. Could play the ball again. Henley back into that left-hand side. Good tackle. Andrew McCulloch again with Ben Hunt over the top. Here's the last. Roberts it is this time, hooking it back towards the corner. Miranda is there, and Leilua was there to tackle him, and Miranda must have only just got a pinky toe back on the turf. Beautifully timed tackle by Leilua, if that was the case. He is secure under the high ball, isn't he? Undoubtedly one of the best catches on the high ball.
As you said, Wayne Bennett's used a number of fullbacks this season. Justin Hodges has had a go in the absence of Milford, Juggles in the absence of Darius Boyd, and then the injury to Jordan Kahu. Miranda, this is 4th game at the back, and he's handled it well. Good ball, almost putting Jack Reed into some space. That was Ben Hunt.
He plays on both sides of the field and doing that effectively right there. Kick down the middle, goes to Gagai, looks up and runs away from Boyce, who does well. David Stagg coming up out of the line as well to try and put pressure on Gagai. Now picked up an injury, Gagai. As a result, Here's Roberts. Gets away from everybody. Runs towards Miranda. He had him covered for speed. And he'll play it inside the Broncos 20. Chad Redmond, who's out there now, scored on debut last week against the Tigers. And they'll play it through Stockwell. Quick one again. Roberts up the line. Showing it back on the inside. He had Snowden there, but hangs on to it himself. 27 gone. The Knights looking to extend this lead. Leilua getting close. He reached out. And he got the ball down for their third try of the night. Boy, he was strong at the line, but again the lead-up work just pushing the Broncos up against the back fence.
And it was Tyrone Roberts who split the Brisbane defence. Dummy half just throws the dummy, pushes away from one, skips inside Ben Hunt. It's been a rare sight this year. Tyrone Roberts into the backfield, takes the tackle from Miranda. He has a crack himself, and then they pick up Joseph Leilua, who was strong enough and able to get that arm free just as they were driving him backwards. A view from the referee, pretty clear. And still on the ball as he places it on the white stripe. A very good set from the Newcastle Knights. A couple of digs at them from the half, Tyrone Roberts, and Joey Leilua with his power.
Well, he's been linked with the Canberra Raiders for 2016 and beyond. No further news in that regard to my knowledge, and we'll wait and see whether he's a Knight beyond this season, but it looks as though he may well be on the move. And the Broncos, the back of that loss last week, but they had the lead, then gave it up to the Cowboys, got themselves back level in that game before fading at the end under a lot of defensive pressure. They were at times camped in their own 20 in that second half against the Cowboys, and they haven't been so much camped in their own 20 tonight because the Knights have been just making meters through the middle like anybody's business. They've been pretty ruthless as well. Roberts, another good strike, adds the extra two. It's a healthy lead right now, Brett.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how they stay composed there, Newcastle Knights. Tyrone Roberts, a man that was under pressure by playing two sideways for a number of weeks. No Mullen, so he's taking more control. Only 3 line breaks this year, but obviously today he's playing a lot more direct, challenging the defensive line from Broncos that goes backwards. And BJ Leilua, Joey Leilua, on the try line, too powerful. 39 tackle bust. Good luck trying to stop that big frame close to the try line.
Well, 5 line breaks to the Knights already. And you're right, the Broncos have been on the back foot for at least 20 minutes.
Kickoff wasn't a deep one. Kurt Gidley, as a result, will play it here. 25 away from the halfway line. There's Patrick Vivai out there in just the 3rd game of his NRL career. Now Redmond. It was quite a story, as we said. So impressive last week against the Tigers. Now Newton, the other end of the spectrum as far as his NRL career is concerned. Forward through Stockwell. Just outside the Broncos 30. Looking for try number 4. I'll put some pressure on the back 3 again here. Roberts' kick. There's a good one underneath the uprights. He had a foot back there in the in-goal area, it looked like. Badger disagreed and says it'll be a play the ball there and not a 20-metre restart for Lachlan Miranda.
Yeah, I think if he had been watching where the try line was, he just needed to slide that foot back another couple of centimetres, awfully close to getting a result on it.
Now forward pass. Francis Molo is out there and
Let him up, boys.
Forward pass here.
Well, they can't really afford this,
Here,
the Broncos. 18-6 down. Trying to work it out of their own end. They come up with a pretty basic error. Milford in at dummy half.
that pass by Milford. He's under all sorts of pressure here again. 8.5 out from the break. Down by 12. Broncos without their origin stars tonight. They have the bye.
Come, boys.
Round prior, Origin 2 and Origin 3. So this is the lone game they'll play where they don't have their Origin players available. But of course, you take the bye before Origin, you have to back up on short rest with as many, hopefully, as you can muster available to play in the days afterwards. That'll be their story in Origin 2 and Origin 3. Tonight, though, not quite the baby Broncos, but it's an inexperienced lineup they bring to Newcastle, and they are feeling the pinch at the moment. Roberts showing it, going himself. McCulloch not falling for a dummy, though. Stayed alive on the play to make a good stop, but they're just 10 away. Stockwell it is. Bouncing off the tackle there of Boyce. Gives away some size and some weight as a forward, but his body on the line right there. Vai. They'll stop him a metre or so away. One more here for Newcastle. Redmond dropping back, giving it to Gidley. A well-weighted grubber, and Miranda taking no chances.
Well, second forced drop out, and a very good kick from Kurt Gidley, who almost, well, he had no time to catch the ball. He was hit immediately, but was still able to drop it onto his foot and get the weight of it right, forcing Miranda to make a play at it.
A nice little kick in, well weighted into the in-goal area.
Let's go,
been their strong suit at times
fellas.
in 2015. The back ends of their sets and their last play options have left a bit to be desired
Staying on.
throughout this season. But tonight, the weight of their long kicks for the most part coming down a metre or so in the field of play, and then they get the repeat set right here from the dropout for Vai to bring it back. They play it just inside the Broncos 30. Redmond showing it a couple of times before Houston works it forward. Vai again, good tackle. That's Molo underneath him, chopping him down like a big oak tree. Redmond, Roberts out the back, Gagai, Ben Hunt again. Tremendous tackle. He has been very solid on that right edge. Here's Stockwell out the back. Redmond the extra man. Houston, they keep it going. Now a chance. It's out here. Got away from Reed. Fended away from Milford. Reed came again. Houston on the last play tries to spin and dive for the line. They stop him.
Jack.
He might have hurt himself. Might have picked up a rib injury in the previous play. He's going back like a half-open pocket knife.
Yeah, landed awkwardly, didn't he? The second attempt from Jack Reed got him down pretty quickly. It's a rib injury, or he's just been winded. And landed on the ball. Vito working it out of trouble, gets a good pass away.
Comes to Boyce. He'll play a 25 out from his own line. Culloch. Daniel Vito. Sometime front rower with Ipswich. Sometime winger for the Brisbane Broncos. It's quite a contrast, isn't it? Certainly big enough to play in the front row. Good hands again on this left-hand side. Reed looking for Oates, who would cut back to the inside, and Reed couldn't find him. They open him up again. Right side of this Newcastle defensive line. Milford chasing through. Was in touch when he got a hand on the ball. Matauti is still clutching at those ribs. Isn't a well boy at the moment.
Yeah, it looks a bit worse than a winding. He might have had the ball tucked under his arm there when he landed on it, and gets away from Jack Reed originally. Comes back and pulls him down really quickly. Hits the ground. Hits the ground hard. And again, Milford causing some trouble down this left side. Gets Reed into space. Reed just couldn't find Corey Oates.
The Knights work it away. We saw Danny Badiris out there. Just checking on the condition. Sione Matauti, a young bloke, even though you've played for Australia already, but you've got a club legend like Danny Badiris giving a bit of a tap on the back saying, "You're okay, mate. You can't do anything else but bat on, can you?" Couldn't let Danny Badiris down, as tough as he was in his career with Newcastle. Here's a forward pass by Newcastle this time.
Again, the dummy half facing the open side, looking to pick up the short side runner. By the time he turns around, Leilua's overrun it. Late in this first half, as Danny Badiris just Backs himself off the field.
Newcastle.
You're right. If he tapped you on the shoulder and said, mate, you've got to stay on, well, that's exactly what's happening.
You've got no choice. Here he is. He's okay.
He's come good.
Adam, David. Patrick, on me. Get your heads in, boys.
Hold it. Wait for it, Chris.
Heads in, boys.
Wait. Wait.
Come on, out.
For the Broncos, 3.5 out from the break. A chance here to make this just a 6-point game. And now Anthony Milford wearing a real shot there from Chris Houston, and gets up limping and clutching up for a knee or perhaps an ankle.
Well, Houston just thought, it doesn't matter how many times he dummies, I'm going to zero in on him, and cleaned up Anthony Milford, who's got himself back in the attacking line.
Less than convincing at the moment, though, as Hunt got away there from the charging Tarek Sims. Still staying alive with it. Wrapped up eventually there by Newton and also Roberts. Molo going towards the uprights. One more tackle here, Brisbane, as McCullough rubbers in behind him. He came off a Newcastle night. Picked up there by Gagai. They thought he was going to stay in the field of play. They drag him back. And Brisbane gets 6 more tackles. Big effort.
Off the outside of the foot there from Andrew McCullough. I don't think Joseph Boyce was aware of the kick. Didn't get the bounce anyway. And Gagai held up by McCullough, the man that kicked the ball, and got some support to push him back into the in-goal area. They really need a try before half-time, Brisbane. They've been totally outplayed. Happening almost, we're getting close to the 40-minute mark.
Blair brings it back. They play at 35 away from the Newcastle line. Molo will 5 or 6 perhaps on that little run. McCullough, Boyce with him flat at the advantage line. Quickly they get to him. A tackle there by Newton and Stockwell. Hunt showing it inside, going to the outside, and Hahu was there, but well tackled by Tyrone Roberts. They've used up 4. McCullough going to Hunt once again. Milford chasing through. Too much speed. Jack Reed it is, who ends up with it as long as Milford hasn't touched it.
I have a try. Can you just check that there's not knock on here from the first guy who touches it? Yeah. Just.
Now we'll just see. We'll make sure that they're onside. It did look like it live. Anthony Milford, I don't know whether he's still suffering the effects of that knock or whether that was the disappointment about whether he knew he got a touch on the football. Oh, he tried his hardest, and then Jack Reed did a great job to stay inside the dead ball line. I don't know if Milford did touch it before Reed got his hands onto it.
No, I think it was all Reed there. Milford, as you said, trying for his life to get to it, but never got there before Reed. And possession, in the full pike position, plants it down just inside the dead ball line.
Well, we said the Broncos needed to score before half-time. They got the chance to do that. Through a line drop out, a forced drop out. And then early in that count there, Ben Hunt just got it in behind the defensive line. The chase was on. They knew exactly what Hunt had on. Milford and Reed winning the race to the ball. Gagai trying to close things down. Just throws the dummy to create some space to squeeze the ball through. Gidley dives. Gagai not able to get there. And Jack Reed scores what could be an important one for the Broncos. He touches the ball, but Reed's got it in his hands by the time he gets a hand on it.
No trouble with that, and what an important try that is just before half-time, and that error by the Knights working it away from their own end. The Broncos get the repeat set off the goal line dropout, and a delicious little grubber by this man, Ben Hunt. His partner in crime, Anthony Milford. As poor as they've been defensively, being marched down the field, here they are at the break. Hunt converts. Oh, he misses it, would you believe it, from beside the uprights. They've still done well, though, to be just the 8 points behind. The Knights will be in no hurry to get play back underway here with barely a few seconds remaining It's going to be 18-10 at the break for Newcastle over the Broncos. And that'll be a great result, and that's exactly what Wayne Bennett would be telling them, you'd think. Boys, we've been so flat and so poor, but here we are. We're only 8 points down with a long time to go. Let's go downstairs to Brett Camorley.
Well, Ben Hunt, what needs to improve in the second half to get victory?
We need to slow down that ruck, mate. They're just rolling down the field way too easy and quick play the balls and getting us on the back foot, and they're taking advantage of it.
Good luck.
Thanks, mate.
Kurt Gidley, an expensive last try to the Bronx.
Oh, mate, they're so crucial. Anything just before half-time, just after, it's so crucial in the game. So it's disappointing, but we defended pretty well considering they scored first.
Kurt Gidley joining us for a chat. They'll go.
They possibly could have come up with another try, and we'll see whether they were fortunate in scoring that final try in the last minute of the first half, and whether it counts or not, or whether Newcastle can continue on their dominance. Joseph Boyce playing his first game of first grade.
Plenty of support here tonight at Hunter Stadium. Under 20 player with the Knights. Tyrone Roberts gets us back underway. The kickoff going down to 10-metre line. Taken there by Kahu, and he's off to the races immediately. Miranda's there in support of McManus. Cuts him down from behind. What an opening to this second half. And Molo, it goes across. Boyce, he'll play it here just inside the Newcastle 30. Stunning beginning for Brisbane. Hunt at the line, going to the left-hand side. They'll play it there through Alex Glenn. Already inside the Knights 20. Blair. Molo's there. He'll play it inside the 10. They've got 2 plays left, incredibly, in this opening set of 6. McCulloch out the back. Goes to Milford. Here's Reid. He'll spin. Brisbane go the length of the field in 1 set of 6. What a piece of play by Jordan Kahu to get them going off the kickoff.
Well, we just spoke about the importance of that try right on the stroke of half-time, and they score inside the opening minute, and it was Jordan Kahu with the footwork, brilliant footwork on Vaivai. Picks up Ben Hunt, or Lachlan Moranta. He's tackled by McManus, but then they continue their way down the field, and they go the left side, and it's that combination that we spoke about during the break. Anthony Milford and Jack Reid. Reid salutes, and what a start from the Broncos. What an opening to this second half.
What an end to the first half of the Newcastle Knights, and we saw how dirty Kurt Gidley was. Being interviewed as he walked from the field towards the dressing rooms. They come back out with that, you would think, ringing in their ears, and they concede a try in the opening set of 6 in the second half.
Yeah, you got a good piece of him there, Aquila Uarte. Should have made that tackle on Jack Reid. They had the numbers, but Reid was able to hit and spin his way and back his way into the in-goal area. Very quickly, this game has come to life after Newcastle really looking like they were coasting to victory in that opening 40 minutes. 2 tries within 2 minutes.
Jordan Kahu taking over the kicking for Ben Hunt, lining it inside the left-hand upright. Had Hunt converted just before half-time, we'd be locked up here at 18 apiece. The Broncos have their 3rd try. It's a 2-point game, Brett.
Yeah, it certainly is. And let's talk about the left side we spoke about at half-time. Milford's there. That's where the Broncos need to go. And they got first strike 2 minutes into the second half. And for Newcastle, the right edge of them is conceded 16 of their 33 total tries. So that's an area they need to fix also.
And was there an update on Kurt Gidley? We saw him bloodied above the right eye as we did the interview just prior to half-time. He's in with the doctor now. We think getting stitched up, also undergoing a concussion test. They're expecting him to be back in the next 10 minutes.
The Knights will certainly need him back because he went around the park very nicely in that opening 40 minutes. And had some nice touches at the back end of sets of 6 as well. Here's the Broncos working it forward. Glenn taken high by Chris Houston. That'll be a penalty, and the pressure continuing here on the Newcastle Knights in the early minutes of this second half.
Yeah, Alex Glenn short. Anthony McCulloch close to the play the ball, and Houston, well, makes contact with the chest, just slides up. Clint Newton finishes him off. But Newcastle under pressure again.
And Milford taps it. Broncos a chance in this set of 6. Take the lead. It'd be remarkable in the way they were outplayed by the Knights in that opening half. Molo will work it down. Play it here just outside the Knights' 10. McCulloch bypassing Blair and Boyce, going to Hunt, who shows it. Came up quickly on the outside and herded him back to the middle. Is where they are now through Blair and Molo. Out the back, goes to McCulloch, offloads, killing the Knights suddenly. Milford thinking about one. I'll wrap him up there. Stockwell and Newton only just coming up with a tackle. Here's Boyce on debut, going close to scoring. Up there by Vaivai, and now Hunt. Touched by Leilua. At worst, it'll be 6 more tackles here for the Broncos. Vito will concede and go into touch, but it will be a knock-on by Leilua, and the Broncos will keep the pressure coming.
Well, 3 offloads in that passage of play that saw the Broncos go close to the try line. There's the fingertip touch by Joseph Leilua. Doesn't matter what happens after that. Canis just pushes Vito across the sideline. A full set of 6 starting just outside the 10. And Brisbane a great opportunity to jump back into the lead. They haven't been there since the opening 5 minutes of the game.
Culloch off the back of the scrum. Milford back on the inside here for Moranta. Towards Tyler Randall, who's out there at the moment with Gidley off the field. Short side play. Milford, first man play as well, and a great tackle. Clint Newton just levelled Alex Glenn right there. Some sort of stop. Here's Blair almost losing it, holding it like a marble as he plays the ball. Short side again. McCulloch catches them out. He dives in, and the Broncos have the lead. It is just remarkable, the change in this game in the 5 minutes before half-time and the 5 we've had since.
Well, it's just ticked over the 6-minute mark in this second half, and the Broncos now 2-point leaders with the kick to come. Andrew McCulloch throws the dummy, and it keeps Gagai out wide. He drifts off, and Chris Houston, well, all he could do was tackle him from behind after he was caught at marker. The Joseph Leilua touch to get the 6 to go and have the Broncos feed the scrum has proven costly. And well, we're wondering what that try before half-time was going to do to the Broncos. There's the evidence. A scoreline that now reads 20-18. And shell shock for the Newcastle Knights after comfortably being the better side in the first half.
Change in the mood of this game. Kahu again trying to convert after he converted Jack Reed try from a similar position. This one's slightly easier. To make it a 4-point lead for the Broncos. What a scoreline this is. Missing 6 Origin players tonight. It's 22-18. What a change in this game, Brett.
Well, you talk about momentum swings, and we talk about inexperienced Brisbane side coming in tonight. When they were down and down comfortably, you question their composure. Well, their composure's held firm. They looked better when they were behind. Now they're leading. Let's see if they keep that momentum going. One thing I'd look at this set is the kick early and keep the pressure on Newcastle coming back out of their end.
Well, extraordinary stat there. Newcastle haven't touched the ball in the second half. 7 minutes into it, almost 8.
The only fingertip they got was Joey Leilua knocking the ball on when they were under pressure inside their own 20. Broncos have it again here, working it away as Vito comes in for a carry. He'll try and play it quickly, and the speed of the play the balls has really turned around as well. It was all the Knights in the first half, and had the Broncos back pedaling. Look at this again, tip-ons at the line, and on 4 plays, Boyce will play it here at the halfway line, and McCulloch goes to Milford. They're back on the attack, and Milford was almost away. grab there, but only just Chad Redmond. Here is Hunt. He's chipping on in behind them. Awkward bounce for Uwate initially. We'll come back to Dane Gagai and got him hemmed in. And the Newcastle Knights finally have it at their own 10, almost 9 minutes into the second half. Good tackle by McCulloch.
Well, he had to hang on. Aquila Uwate looked like he was going over the top. We know what sort of damage he's done to a raft of teams this year from that position. Has got this set off to a good start, though, and another good run from the opposite winger, James McManus.
He's done that well tonight. Leilua continues the trend. Takes it back into Broncos territory, just outside the 40. Playing here for Redmond. Roberts it is from the short side. Back across the field. Vito coming in. Some moments with his hands, but he's been good tonight so far, and he plays it here just outside the 20.
Well, after playing with the ball for almost without it for almost 10 minutes, that was a pretty good reply from Newcastle.
Quick play, the ball though by Miranda. Gives Kahu some space, and Houston going to pull off some big hits tonight. Was there again. Milford on that left-hand side. Here through Corey Oates. There, I thought County might have put another knock to that rib, but he's okay. David Stagg playing every game at the moment like it might be his last. This could well be the last game of his NRL career, depending on how things turn out to the Origin representatives and injuries for the rest of this 2015 campaign. Uwate to play it inside his own 20. Gagai. Good stop there by Alex Green, and also Jared Wallace, who's back on the field for Wayne Bennett. Tautia looking for a quick play. The ball supplies one for Roberts. There's the Houston. 7 or 8 metres perhaps. More plays left in this set. Across the 40-metre line. Stockwell spinning to his tummy to play it quickly and give a chance for Roberts. Kick without pressure once again. Down the middle of the field, a high ball taken there without pressure by Kahu. They've got him ringed in, and now Daniel Vito brings it back to the 20 for the Broncos. The Knights have steadied the ship, but boy, they had to. They were rocking and rolling in the opening minutes of this second half. Trailed by 4 as Hunt, dummy half, into Wallace, and it comes back to link up with Lachlan Miranda. Much easier for the Knights with a bit of speed injected into the game now, with Cody Nikorima out there playing game number 10 in his NRL career. Some options now, haven't they? Milford, Nikorima, Hunt, McCulloch. Here's one of them, Milford, going back. They've lost 20 metres almost right there. Now they're under pressure. Glenn feeds it. Hunt get the kick in from just inside his own 30. Kick is a beauty over the head of Dane Gagai. That's gone 55 metres on the fly, and Gagai couldn't take it on the full.
Wasn't that a great strike from Ben Hunt? His team under pressure, lost 20 metres on play 4 as Aquila finds a little bit of space down the middle. Get him to stop him quickly, though. Again, as we've seen all night, James McManus will back up the run following Uwate.
A good 1-2 punch between the two of them. Tarek Sims playing here, 35 out from the Broncos line. First receiver goes to Newton. Soft hands there on the ball from Cade Snowden. Redmond. It's to Roberts. Chip it towards the corner this time. Well weighted once again. Kahu there standing his ground. Got a ball away before hand was laid on him. And Corey Oates trying to get away from the tackle. Beat Uwate, but couldn't get away from Chad Redmond.
No, what a handy piece of play that was from Jordan Kahu. Stood his ground and then stepped to the left very quickly. Lost his feet, but was able to pick up Corey Oates, who made a pretty valuable 15 metres.
Nikorima, either Stagg or just take a carry from their own end for a minimal gain. Playing it for Nikorima once again. Hunter's there, and look at this from Nikorima, weaving in between the traffic. catching out some of the Knights' bigger defenders, and that's what he offers from dummy half.
Well, he made Kate Snowden look like a statue there, Nick Marine. Through the dummy, Snowden didn't fall for it, but was still able to weave his way around him.
Kick again is a pretty good one from Ben Hunt. They've got them at their own 10.
It's probably worth giving up 10 or 15 metres when you put a high ball up in the air, as Kirk Gidley, we see him getting strapped up. Well, he's not coming back. He's getting some eyes wrapped around that leg. He's no good. And that's a blow for the Knights.
He's had some leg injuries to deal with already in 2015, and that's not a great sign for the skipper, and that's probably a 5-bell alarm right now in the Newcastle Knights coaching box as well. Redmond kicking out of dummy half. Will go down to Daniel Vito. Back there. Maranta dropping back quickly.
We're just talking about the Broncos' high ball down the other end of the field. It's probably worth giving up 10 or 15 metres so you don't get any of the back three on the run returning the ball. You put it up in the air and you're standing there waiting for them to catch it, so you can knock the likes of like Uarte and Gagai, McManus over immediately.
Vito playing it for McCulloch. Hunt under pressure there from Snowden. Milford, though, kept it going for Alex Glenn. The Knights did well and was building beautifully on that left edge. It may still do. Milford got the quick ball from dummy half from Hunt. They set upon him straight away through Roberts and also Houston. Here's McCulloch now trying to kick it towards the sideline. It came off a Newcastle Knight. Uarte picks it up with a trademark skip as he runs across the face of them. Aaron Whitchurch is out there now. The last of the Brisbane Broncos bench to get a chance here tonight. And McManus picked off, and a good tackle by Jack Reed. Corbin Sims is the best forward on the panic to open the game in an opening 15 or 20 minutes. We'll see if we can get them going back in the right direction. Houston working it towards Milford. They really haven't been able to expose Anthony Milford tonight. Didn't need to as they built handy lead, but now it's 4 points the other way. They go left. Gagai brushing past Maranta, staying with him, dragged him down, and Hunt stops him just outside the 30. Leilua gives it to Randall, who'll put it high in the air. Not a deep kick. Underneath it, Kahu was knocked down by David Farlongo.
Take it out.
And it's a pretty cheap penalty to give away, and Kahu a little bit the worse for wear as he took a heavy knock from Farlongo coming through.
Yeah, just hung his arm out, Farlongo, and just spun Jordan Kahu around. Didn't look to avoid the collision, was never really looking to make a play at the footy. And then off the back of that, he's collided with Tarek Sims.
Now you get a big front rower coming down the middle of the field and not really looking at the ball in flight and suddenly realising it's not going as deep as he imagined off the boot. But with a situation like that, need some repeat sets to put some pressure on the Broncos this end of the field, and at the moment, despite getting down there, they haven't been able to go back to back. They can camp inside their own 20, but even if you do, they are very hard to crack. They are the best team in the NRL for goal line defence, ranked 1 out of 16 tries scored per tackle conceded inside their own 20.
Been very good, Jordan Kahu. The back end of that first half and the early part certainly got things rolling right from the kickoff for the Broncos.
Here's Milford going to the line, giving it to Hunt. Shows it back on the inside there for Whitchurch. Here's Nicarine. Set upon there by Tarek Sims. They burn a tackle. McCulloch looking up. Hunt is the option. Hook it across the field, a chance out wide for Oates, but neither he nor Jack Reed got there in time. A piece of blocking out wide as well from this man, Sione Matavia, legal as it was. The Knights will try and work it away from inside their own 20. This is a desperately vital game for Newcastle. Gagai Gets demolished there. A great tackle.
Yeah, it's amazing what a couple of tries will do, and there's a bit more life in this Brisbane defence. The second half, once they've hit the lead, they really were flat in that department of the game in the first half.
Here's Snowden bringing it back to the 40-metre line. The Newcastle Knights, their first 14 games this season, have 9 of them here at home, and they finished the regular season with only 3 games at home in their final 10. So they need to put points in the bank before they have that horror run to finish out the minor premiership over the final 10 weeks. And this against a depleted Broncos outfit is one where you can't bank on getting the 2 points. It's one they really have to, at home, come away with a victory from. They get a chance here to try and level up at least with a forward pass from dummy half.
Is that the third one we've seen tonight? Third forward pass from dummy half. We have a man that normally doesn't play dummy half in the position. Lachlan Miranda just taking a couple of steps before he passed the ball to Alex Glenn. And we'll see how costly that one is. There's a bit of attention on the right for Cody Nikorima. There's a completion rates in the really the spread of possession in the second half. It's been all Brisbane. That's not good.
There's a pull on for Nikorima. Let's go downstairs to Andy Raymond.
Yeah, Cody went straight down, the training staff straight over to him and asked him to lie on the back, and they did the normal test they do for your ACL on the outside, the medial on the inside. We think from what we've seen it's medial ligament on the inside of the knee, in discomfort but also in some pain.
Not about that. That's a real blow because he was tremendous. Jeffed into the game and saw what he did from dummy half with one particular run, and a bit of a tackle away from Brisbane. Try and hang on to this 4-point lead.
Hold it, boys.
Ready?
Hold.
Wait, boys. Who's whistle? He's going to get his head in. Let him get his head in. David, over the top fence. David.
It's a nice scrum.
Eventually we'll get there. All looks good, and the Knights away and running. Here they are at the Broncos 40. Carried by a Trout. Craig Snowden runs towards Joe Offengow, who's out there again now, playing it for Redmond. Roberts has in motion on his outside. Houston running the straight line. The first man option there. Good tackle though by Alex Glenn. They've had quite a battle, those two. Corbin Sims losing the ball and came away in a 3-man tackle. The end to say there was no help from the Broncos, and what a let-off that is.
Now the pocket referee in perfect position there to make a call if it was an illegal play and a strip. Nothing coming from them, and yeah, that's a real let-off. The first real opportunity to build some pressure in this second half.
Corey Oates coming in for a carry. Playing the wing, can play in the back row as well. Milford, quieter still. Jared Wallace is back almost at the halfway line. We're almost halfway through this second half. Change 18 points to 10 at the break. It was 18-6 with barely a couple of minutes remaining. Here we are. The Broncos on the attack again. Reed drawing and passing, giving it to Oates. He went to Gagai and went straight past him.
Watch him, watch him.
Lovely play down the left edge by the Broncos, and they extend this lead. They've got the Knights rocked at the moment.
Well, that left edge has been deadly all night. Probably should have scored another try in the first half with the play, and there's the turnover. Sims just looking to get the ball free, get the arm free and look for an offload, and then Milford at the line playing nice and direct, throws a beautiful floating pass over the top of Alex Glenn, picks up Jack Reed. He does a good job to drag Aquila Uarte in and put Corey Oates away. An enormous man. He knew that he wasn't going to try and get around Dane Gagai, just go straight at him. You'd have to say not the best of attempts from Gagai, but Oates comes up with his first tonight.
Try 4 in his season, and boy, what a player of so much potential Corey Oates is. And as we said, he can swing between the back row and the wing through some real holes, and got some versatile players. They've had some big wingers over the years, the Broncos, haven't they, in their proud history. Corey Oates is up there with any of them as far as the frame that he brings to the table for Wayne Bennett this year. 8-point lead, trying to push it out to 10. Jordan Kahu, 2 from 2, and struck them beautifully. Hoping to keep the perfect record intact. He has done that. He's had some practice in this second half from out there on the left-hand side. It's a long way back for the Newcastle Knights suddenly, Noddy.
It certainly is. And Anthony Milford, the man who we spoke about pre-game, about his running game, well, that was a beautiful pass. To see Uarte go back and create space. He only had 3 line break assists and 3 tries just before coming in tonight. Well, he's had a night out. Let's talk about Ben Hunt. This is his time to stand up as a half and close the game out with composure, kicking game, and trying to get that knockout try.
And as we said, saw that shot of Kurt Gidley back in the Newcastle dressing room with ice around that right hamstring or thigh. And his night's certainly over. Leading the field with a bit of a cut above the eye as well. Short on playmakers. No, Jared Mullen quite obviously tonight. Some Beau Scott and Jeremy Smith. A bit of starch in the front line as well. They are short-staffed and suddenly running out of time as well. 17 minutes remaining as Hunt goes to the line and really has done things nicely after that early start where they were just being marched down the field defensively.
Gee, that was smart play from Milford as he tries to put one into the in goal. Gagai has it covered, but the fact that he played so direct on the 5th tackle forced Sione Matauti to come in on Alex Glenn. That created the space for Jack Reed because Aquila Uarte had dropped back to cover the kick. It was very clever play from the Broncos 5'8".
The Knights have it here just outside their 30. Redmond under Leilua, who was desperate for a carry on the previous play, and here he is thrashing his way to almost the halfway line. Longo following suit. He's beyond the 50-metre line, and Redmond feeds it back for Roberts. And he needs some results. A spiralling kick. Awkward one there, knocked backwards by Daniel Vito. He got fortunate there. A good call by the referees, despite the boos ringing out from the fans here at Hunter Stadium. But, wow, that was some sort of spiral bomb by Tyrone Roberts, and Vito got very lucky.
Yeah, he was always in trouble, Daniel Vito, with that one because it was heading towards Jordan Kahu and then swung late and left. In the end, got himself, he was lucky to get a hand to it at all. Not an easy job to do when you have to turn your body 180 degrees to make a play at the ball. Milford, the dummy.
And good hands as well. Wallace keeps it going. Glenn keeps it going to McCulloch. Here's Kahu. Now it's a race. Tarek Sims grabs him by the collar and says, "You're going nowhere, my boy." Jack Reed knocked it on. That'll be a penalty. Some interference there in the play the ball.
Yeah, I'm sure he hung his foot out there. Well, they were asking for the 10 minutes, and I think rightly so. That was a genuine try-scoring opportunity for the Brisbane Broncos if there wasn't a foul committed. Well, it might have been a bit unfortunate. Tarek Sims didn't look like he moved the leg, but he was in the run.
He was thereabouts, and as you would think, with a 10-point lead right in front, they'll take the 2 to make it 2 converted tries the difference. But the hands in the leader.
Here's the bus was. The dummy from Milford holds Matauti up, and then Wallace offloads to Alex Glenn. Great pass to McCulloch. Picks up Jordan Kahu. And Tarek Sims was able to clean him up. Kahu had to stop as he was supporting and then start again. He didn't want to put himself offside. There's the result. And the penalty that goes Brisbane's way. Crowd not happy about it. The fact that the play of the ball was so quick, well, it just caught Tarek Sims in the ruck.
Who keeps his perfect record going tonight, 4 from 4 now. 30 points to 18. There's still time here for Newcastle. But you wonder with Gidley off the field where their points will come from.
Yeah, and just how they've got to turn things around. This will take an enormous turnaround for them. They just haven't been on the front foot at all in this second half.
Well, the fans still aren't happy about the penalty call, but unlucky there. Tarek Sims caught up in that situation. And the opposition 20 tells a story, doesn't it? In this second half, Maranta, what a catcher of the ball he is. They go short, and well, if you're going to go short, kick it away from that man, Lachlan Maranta, because he might be as good as anybody in the competition for catching. Vito playing it for Maranta. Aaron Whitchurch, a utility player, can fill some gaps for the Broncos this season. Now Black out the back. Hunt stringing them together nicely, aren't they? Lovely ball. Milford for Reid. Here's Oates again. Gagai, a better effort this time. That's a try saver. He'll play it for Reid. Milford pulling all the right strings at the moment. Going to Offengawi. He'll play it 10 metres away. McCulloch going back to the left-hand side. That's where they're doing all the damage. Reid. Pass was forward. Under pressure there from Uarte. Trying to catch and tip it on in the one motion. Wasn't able to do that. And what a shot for his trouble as well. And well, the Knights hang on, but only just.
Well, his pass selection has been outstanding tonight, Anthony Milford. Again, floating across the face of Alex Glenn, picking up Jack Reid. And you're right, a much better effort from Dane Gagai at the back there to stop Aaron Corey Oates going over the top of him again.
McManus playing it for Redmond to go to Houston. Spent too much time in this second half tonight working it away from their own end. Repeat set. Roberts, a chance now. Gagai linking in on this left-hand side. Grabbed there by Hunt. Play it for Leilua. And his pass goes to ground. McCulloch ends up with it. There was no touch knocking the ball on by the Broncos. And again, the Knights just turn it over too easily.
We said in the first half, the Knights, their ball control was outstanding. The team that makes more handling errors than anyone else, and that's been the case in this second half. They've had limited opportunity, but when they have had the football, they just haven't been able to build any pressure, get to their last tackle. There was a desperate tackle from Ben Hunt on Dane Gagai too. Real outstretched arms to pull him down in a dangerous situation. Milford again.
Trying to bounce away there from the tackle of Randall, and then keep it alive. Hunt through McCulloch. Comes back to Blair. He'll just bump it towards the uprights. And they'll play it there outside the 10. McCulloch going to Hunt at the line. Chance there for Glenn to try and burst through a hole. There's a nice stop again with Tavier. Ends up touching in his ribs, does he? He's a sore boy, and he certainly will be by the time he gets back to the dressing rooms tonight. Is another bump for his trouble right there, and making that tackle on Alex Glenn.
Well, Hunt did a great job to drag all those Newcastle defenders in there. I'm surprised he didn't hold the pass up from Alex Glenn and hit Milford, who was just sweeping around the back there.
Broncos.
12-point ball game with 10 to go.
Time on out.
Quilly Uarte. He's been able to bust them tonight. They've done a good job on him. The back three, for the most part, from the Newcastle Knights after played their role. An early role they had in the first 20 minutes of this game. Redmond to Randall. Leilua. Playing from Hunt. Been a handful, hasn't he? Well, done well again to stop him getting that offload away. Redmond at the halfway line to Roberts. Snowden. Nothing doing though. They turned him back underneath, and there were 3 Broncos in front of him. Redmond for Roberts. Plays on his outside. Gagai is there. Fins away. In fact, it was Matau here. Gives it back to Gagai. Roberts, they're going backwards inside the final 10. Roberts trying to grab it.
No kick. He took the
play on. He didn't kick the ball.
First, he didn't kick it.
The ball hit the turf before he got a toe on it, said Gavin Badger. And again, as is the pattern sometimes with the Knights, they just lose their way at the back end of the set.
Well, it was going to be a miracle, wasn't it, to rescue that after the ball hit the ground and Gagai went backwards, and then Roberts had to go back and clean up his pass.
Corey Oates playing it. The Broncos on their way to another famous victory in this Origin period over the years, of course. Won't be of the magnitude of the baby Broncos back in 2002 against the Tigers at Campbelltown. There is Wayne Bennett, watching on very proudly again, no doubt. Back in Newcastle tonight, having spent the previous 3 seasons here, and the strength side to his own stamping ground, and coming up, it looks like, 2 vital premiership points. Hunt. He just chip it towards the in-goal area. Pass in the outstretched arms there of Tarek Sims. They work it away, the Knights. Down to the miracle stages now, isn't it, given what they've shown or how little they've shown in this second half. Perhaps Aquila, you can have something to say about that. He'll get a penalty. Yep. And they need pretty much everything to go their way from this point on.
One of his trademark runs, tackle from David Stagg around the legs, and just couldn't get off quick enough. We'll see the run of penalties. First one for a while after 3 straight to the Broncos.
Oh boy, a mistake there on the first play, and luckily they get away with it. It looked as though for a moment that Farlongo might have knocked the ball on. You get back to basics here. Some good carries from the forwards to get them a bit of momentum, and then give the playmakers a chance. This is what they have now. Roberts, Gagai going to Matautia, hanging on to it, and some contact there from Jack Reed. A good tackle on the Brisbane centre. Uarte, chase from behind, and Milford does very well. They've got 2 plays left in this set, 15 away. Here's Roberts, putting it back on the inside for Stockwell. He loses the ball in the tackle, and again they've turned it over. Stockwell taking a knock for his trouble.
Yeah, one down low, and a Brisbane player over the top. Some heavy contact there as Wallace low. Alex Glenn forces the error. Not happy faces on the Newcastle bench. The completion rates. Newcastle just haven't given themselves an opportunity in this second half, because I know the Cowboys came out and scored 2 quick ones to get themselves into the lead, but Newcastle then started to work their way into the game, but just never gave themselves a real chance of scoring more points.
Tackles in the opposition 20. Half-time Newcastle had 18. Right now they have 20 for the game. The Brisbane Broncos had all the ball at the other end with more than 2 complete sets inside the Knights 20 in the second half. And most of the time the tries they've created have been long breaks down that left edge, especially in this second half, and they haven't had to spend too much time down there.
They're pretty impressive numbers there for Anthony Milford. 80 metres with the footy, but it's been his ability to put his outside support into space. 4 line break assists. He stood in a couple of tackles to offload the ball. It's been some sort of performance by the young Bronco, and he's just looks like he's starting to find his feet in that 5'8" role.
Andrew, get ready, mate. Heads in, Kate. Right,
the Knights would have come here with a plan to try and test him out defensively tonight. Really maintained enough ball in the second half to do any of that. Really hasn't been troubled at all. Milford on that left-hand side, the Broncos' defensive line. An important 2 points to take away from Newcastle with this depleted side, and especially so when you consider that this is game 2 of a 7-game stretch in which they only played 2 games at home at Suncorp Stadium for the Broncos. Coincides pretty much with the origin period, making it extra tough. And they also have all 3 games after the origin games on the road, just to add another little hurdle to the mix for Wayne Bennett and his crew. But with the form they're in so far in 2015, joining the winners list tonight after stumbling last week in Townsville against the Cowboys, who really have been the testing material over the last couple of months. No shame to lose up there against JT and the Cowboys. This has been so impressive tonight.
It's been a tough month for them. The last month they've gone down to the Dragons. They had that narrow win and last-minute win against the Panthers at Suncorp Stadium in round 9. Just said they went down to the Cowboys last week. It's a win against the Eels, where they were certainly the dominant team. McCulloch, after a McCulloch touch finder, the Knights work it away from their own end.
Zambia getting in to carry it from dummy half. Newcastle Knights back at Origin on Wednesday nights. We go to New Zealand to take on the Warriors at Mount Smart Stadium. The challenge that will be. We'll wait and see how many players they have fit and ready, and perhaps Kurt Gidley with that leg injury will join the injured list and be unavailable to make that trip. Randall putting it up. Most of the chasers are in front of him when he put the kick in. What a catch! Jordan Kahu coming forward, had no right to make that catch.
He never looked like he was going to get there, Kahu, and just threw himself at the footy at the death. Replay box will show us he's short, he's got players coming through, and that's a super take from him. He's been good at the back tonight. Miranda started at fullback, but Kahu shifted there pretty quickly.
Anthony Milford to play. Stepping out of dummy half. Goes to Hunt. Carry inside the Newcastle 30. They'll play it there through Wallace. Looking for perhaps the 1 pointer they were setting up for. And a chance of a 12-point lead. They get there eventually. Milford it is, who strikes it beautifully. It might be the most complex but well-worked field goal play we've ever seen.
Well, Ben Hunt was standing back there ready to have a shot at the 1 point to give them that 13-point buffer. It came out to the right side, back to the middle. He had plenty of time, but gee, that's a pretty strike, isn't it?
Stay on.
Just nailed it.
That was like clockwork. It's like an NFL play. Everybody running their route, hitting their spot, and then passing it on. Shallow kick off here. Well taken by David Stagg, who has done his job tonight. Getting the call up. We'll wait and see if he gets another chance in first grade again. If he doesn't, he's going out as a winner here in Newcastle. Kahu. Very strongly up towards the halfway line. Bounces back to his feet. Contact there from Vai. They'll keep it rolling forward, finding their hands and their knees at the moment. Boyce applying a quick play. The ball. Glenn still going. It is all the Broncos at the back end of the game. Comfortably home now with his 13-point lead. Milford. Rubber picked up there by Roberts. He'll round and come towards Randall. Links up here with McManus. Leilua is there. Stagg can't match it for speed. Coming across, there was some cover. Leilua beats one. Beats Miranda. Still going, Joey Leilua. And he avoids reaching out and being pinged for a double movement. What willpower. A penalty anyway, but for all the money in the world, you would think he was going to reach out and plant that down for a double movement.
Absolutely. That was a great tackle from behind. McManus hung onto the ball just long enough to get Leilua into the space. Stagg couldn't match it with them. Out the Uade quickly. He's lost his footing, which doesn't help things.
Seen this a few times so far in this second half, with Roberts having to track back and pick it up, and his ball goes to ground. They really have lost the thread, haven't they? And now Gagai loses it in the tackle. And the advice of the touch judge.
He didn't.
It'll be the Broncos who get the ball. Watch this again.
Miranda
going to score. Going to score. Great tackle, Miranda. Reach out, reach out. 99 times out of 100, surely a player would reach out, but he knew exactly the situation.
Yeah, great discipline there from Joseph Leilua. How a big body like that just didn't bounce across the try line. Miranda coming again. A great legs tackle from him.
I understand you're frustrated, but be careful, that's all I'm saying. Yeah, I know, but just be careful. Need a lock, boys. That's all. Need a lock. Oh, yeah, I understand. Heads in, boys. Hold. Hold. Feet.
The Broncos win the scrum, and on the short side, attacking to the death here. Milford going to get away to Lachlan Miranda.
Well, he just gave Daniel Vito a bit of a mouthful there, because he expected Vito to be on the outside of Lachlan Miranda. They created the extra number there with Milford ducking around the short side, and Vito wasn't where he should have been.
He's here playing it now as McCulloch goes to Hunt, taking it to the line, stopped there by Chris Houston, talking about his origin period for the Broncos. And up next, after Origin 1 on Wednesday night, Canberra to take on the Raiders. Involved in that remarkable game yesterday against the Bulldogs. McCulloch gives it to Boyce. The line there, Stockwell making a tackle. That's the last play of the game as Hunt. Plenty of numbers on the right-hand side. He goes back to McCulloch. He says we'll just take the tackle here and scamper out of town with 2 big premiership points. Now they're dancing in the stables, and why wouldn't they be? The Broncos comes in Newcastle. Wayne Bennett's return, and they've beaten the Knights 31 points to 18. They were down 18-6 just before half-time. Scored an important try to Jack Reed to make it 18-10 at the break. And they went on with the job in no uncertain fashion. In that opening set of 6, Jack Reed scored. That was important to get them within 2. And then when McCulloch scored, they had the lead. A lead they wouldn't relinquish. What a win by Brisbane. There's plenty to talk about after this Origin round in round 11. We'll take you right now to the Clive Churchill studio. Here's Monday Night with Matty Johns.